Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's your boy here, Fabio from Long Island. And now, I just got home. Got to say, it was my first viewing in a special theater over here by my house, a special fan showing of the one and only The Batman. So I got to say, man, The Batman, what a film. What a film, man. Well, let's go straight through it. Okay, this is non-spoiler, so I will not be getting into any detail whatsoever. I just want to talk about my reaction, my feeling, and I just got to get through it. So, the Batman movie by Matt Reeves, starting a new Batman, new series here, kind of showing everybody a new Gotham, and let's just get right into it, man. I think the movie is a solid film, definitely a solid version of Batman. And we got to talk about the Batman himself, Mr. Robert Pattinson. Now, I got to say, I've never been a huge fan of him, and I haven't seen a lot of his indie work. Of course, I know all the mainstream stuff, but I got to say, he was awesome as Batman. Not my favorite Batman. I got to be upfront, right? And but I did think the tone that they were going for in this movie, that Robert Pattinson's Bruce Wayne Batman portrayal was pretty good. I have to say, it's now no Christian Bale still, but it's definitely memorable. I like the feeling of this young Batman. I thought a lot of his acting was pretty on point, and he had a lot of great chemistry with a lot of the other characters. And well, we got to talk about the other character, which of course is the Riddler, played by Danico, whatever his name is. But he was awesome as the Riddler. The Riddler had kind of I guess, a Zodiac killer kind of feel, and he really delivers. He has a lot of great parts. Very keeps you full of suspense the whole film. And for me, I thought it was a great villain. Definitely a good start to this new series or trilogy that they're going to be doing, hopefully. And I honestly could say he's not better than Heath Ledger, but he's definitely a great villain, something memorable. Definitely a different take. I mean, I don't know if you want to say he's comparable to Jim Carrey's Riddler. It's a completely different tone of film, completely different actor. There's really no comedy involved whatsoever with the Riddler. He's a pretty serious, straightforward villain, and I think Paul Danko's portrayal of it was fantastic. He's definitely a great character. But I want to get to the other characters, because the other characters, man, I wasn't exactly expecting them to be so great. I'm not saying they stole the show, but man, first I gotta say the Penguin is damn near unrecognizable if you know who Colin Farrell is. He doesn't look anything like him. He has a great accent that hides his Irish accent completely, and he's a great supporting character. He's one of Carmine Falcone's underbosses in this movie. And that gets to my other character that I loved. Carmine Falcone was fantastic, played by the great John Turturro. He was unbelievable as Carmine Falcone. I thought he was a great character, and it just the whole backstory with Bruce and Thomas Wayne. Again, not getting into any details, but it was just some really interesting and great work I felt by him. And of course, Selena Kyle, which plays by Zoe Kravitz, was a great portrayal in this movie. Maybe not as good as Michelle Pfeiffer, no, but definitely her own, fit well in this world. And there's a couple of other characters that, again, I don't want to spoil nothing. I'll wait till you guys check it out. But that was something really cool to see. But let's get to the other part of this. This movie is very much about Gotham City, the infrastructure. The tone of the film is all very dark, but it's about the police, the mayor, the DA, and all the corruption. And of course, like every other Batman movie, Gotham City is always in the forefront for Batman, and this movie is no different. Before I move on to Gotham City, I don't want to forget. Now, I think Gordon's portrayal by Jeffrey Wright was okay. Not necessarily, I guess, what I thought. Gordon was a great casting of it, but I liked him. I like Jeffrey Wright, so it's really hard for me not to like him. But I also just felt like maybe could have been a different actor that could have played him, and it would have been really no difference to me. but I like Jeffrey Wright a lot, so it's just nothing against him. But let's get back to Gotham because that's basically what this majority of this movie does. A lot of setting up for future things to come and just how deep the city's corruption is. A lot of crazy stuff happens, so it's not going to get into too much detail. But Gotham plays a big, big part. Now, without getting into spoilers, of course, let's see where I could say about the ending without any spoilers. Basically, that it's satisfying. It's not a big hand-to-hand combat kind of thing with the villain because that's not the type of villain Riddler is. But it's a satisfying ending. It's always interesting when you watch commercials and then you see the film and you see how much of the film is kind of littered with parts of the final climax, the third act of the movie. And I thought it was pretty satisfying. There's one part in the lead up to the very, very ending that's really interesting that I think most people will get a big kick out of because they introduce another huge, huge character. But let's just get down to the nitty gritty. All right, what did I think about this movie? What's the verdict in the end? For me, I feel like this movie is a solid Batman film. It sets up a new possible trilogy for the Batman to see where this Robert Pattinson, this young Batman goes. And it's really nice to see a Batman that looks like he's in his late 20s, really early 30s. I know Christian Bale, or Batman Begins, is supposed to portray like he's in his early 30s, but it sure as hell looks a lot older than Robert Pattinson does in this movie. But for me, the verdict of this movie, I'd say a solid 8, maybe even an 8.5 out of 10. Now, did it live up to the hype of what we put out before? Yeah, I think so. I think the only real retraction of this movie is that it's damn near 3 hours long. And yeah, it doesn't feel too bad, but at the same time, it's still a fucking 3 hour movie. And this is coming from somebody who loves Lord of the Rings. All right. I just don't know why a Batman movie needs to be 3 hours when it's, I guess it's a lot of world building and stuff like that. They're saying there's going to be a lot of stuff from HBO coming soon about the Penguin and other things of Gotham City. But for me, I'd say, it's still not better than The Dark Knight because that's still my all-time favorite Batman movie. And even The Dark Knight has, I still would say that's like a 9 out of 10. So this one is a solid 8.5 to 10. So that's what I'm going with. I go with my 8 out of 10. That's my guess. That's my guess. I could be wrong. You could like it more. You can like certain things a lot more than I did. But for me, when I look at it, I just say, you know what? It's an 8 out of 10. The Riddler was good. The other characters were good. But for me, it's 8 out of 10. So listen, I'm going to try to make another video later in the week after everybody gets a chance to see it and post it up on my YouTube. So if anybody, tell your opinion on it. You can throw it on there. It's more of like, what did you expect of this film? And then what did you get? So it's like, which ones did it meet your expectations? Was it falling short of them? Was it blew them out the water? It's really a great film when it comes down to setting up a new Batman and the future of Batman. So for me, I like it. I thought it was great. I would be happy to spend another 2.5 hours, maybe not 3, 2.5 is fine. Let's cut it there. You know what I'm saying? But 2.5 hours in another installment. I think it was a great, great film. It's very steeped in realism, even more than maybe Nolan's trilogy, which is hard to do because I thought that's what they were going for. But Matt Reeves has a very specific tone that he was going for, and I think he delivered with it. And honestly, I could see this being, a fan favorite of a lot of people. But for me, it's still 8 out of 10. It's never going to beat The Dark Knight, which is like a 9.5 out of 10. And the portrayal that you got from Heath Ledger and the other characters in that movie. But still fantastic film. I would definitely go see it with other Batman fans in the theater because that's the only way to experience these types of movies. And yeah, hopefully I'll try to make another video next week. If you follow my page at all, you know what it's about. It's all about this team over here. I can't even know what direction I'm fucking pointing. It's all about Milan over here. But I'm glad if you watch this, you got a little love for the Batman. I love Marvel. I love DC. I love a lot of shit. I love Milan most, and of course my wife and my dog. But I digress. I digress. All right. But that's my review of the Batman. All right. I think 8 out of 10. But go see it yourself. Get your own opinion. Holla at your boy. Tell me what you think. And yeah, guys, thank you for watching, man. It's the Batman, man. The Batman, the Shadow, the Dark Knight. All right. Peace. See you guys later.